Today I'm going to show you how to perform probably the single most productive movement that there is around, and that's a squat. Okay, and most movements, that even the deadlift or any other movement, a press that you're, a thruster, that's going to stem from the squat movement. Okay, so once we learn this movement, some of the others are going to be so much more easy, and it's going to be so much more effective because you're going to be doing it the right way. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the proper form on how to do the squat. Okay, so the first thing, your feet are going to be approximately shoulder width apart. I say approximately because everybody's a little different. Your hip flexibility is going to dictate that. Sometimes the way your hips track, sometimes how tight you are in your hamstrings, your glutes and your quads is going to tell you, how you may have to turn your feet or the depth of your squat. So I'm able to get down all the way, okay? So you see me, I'm coming down all the way here. I'm going to turn to the side so you see how my positioning is. I'm keeping my chest up high. I'm finding the point that I kind of continually look at, because what I see a lot is people kind of want to look down. And what happens is when you look down, you lose your form, and your back now gets a lot of the stress. So you get your low back involved in the squat, and you don't want that, okay? Especially once you start to load up. Okay, so I'm finding a point on the wall. I'm going to watch it the whole way, and I'm coming down as deep as I can possibly get. You hear a lot of people say, don't break parallel. That's false, because you put all that stress right there on the knee when you don't break parallel. This becomes a break, and it stops your body. You want the muscle to stop you and the muscle to react and bring you back up. And that's what you do when you come all the way down. Okay, so if you don't know how to set your feet, a good rule of thumb, a good way to do it is to jump, and wherever you land, that's where you're most stable. Your body will find its way to be most stable. So I'm going to show you. That's about where my feet should be for my squat. Okay? Now I may have to adjust a little bit here and there, but that's about where it should be. Okay, so again, I'm going to keep that chest up high. I'm going to squeeze my core really tight. Come down nice and smooth. Notice that my knees are not getting in front of my toes. You do not want to squat like this. Okay, you see that a lot too. Okay, so one of the main things you do is almost like you're about to sit down in a seat. So you drop that butt back and you come down. Okay, so you see where I am? You can draw a straight line from my toes up, and you will never hit my knees. Okay, and then you drive up. Again, you're spreading the floor with your feet and driving through the heels. You get on the toes and you get a little unstable. Okay, so I'm coming down, spreading the floor with my feet, driving through the heels. I can even lift my toes up while I'm driving. Okay, so that's the proper technique. Now, you need some weight. Here's a good way to do it. What I have here is a dumbbell. Now notice too, I skipped this. I don't have shoes on for a reason. Okay, if you have shoes that have a heel on them of any kind, this doesn't even have much of a heel, but this will have the tendency to throw you on your toes, and it'll sacrifice your form. Okay, and that's where people say, oh man, squats really bother my knees. Well, that's because you're not doing it right, or the shoes that you're wearing are kind of making it impossible for you to do it correctly. Okay, so if you can, take your shoes off, or wear a completely flat-soled shoe. Okay, now back to this. The goblet squat is an easy way to add some weight, and if you're not really used to lifting weights, it's a way to do it comfortably and without injuring yourself. Okay, so you're gonna grab a weight just like this. See how my hands are cupped under? I'm holding it into my body. Elbows are in tight. I can hold a lot of weight like this. Okay, keep my form, finding my foot position, down and up. On the up, I'm breathing out. So while I'm up here, I'm breathing in, coming down. Okay, just like that. It's a goblet. If you have a little more experience and you have a squat rack available to you, do a back squat where the weight is placed on your back. Okay, now, the way I like to get the weight off is almost in a lunge position. So I get under, I have one foot in front of me, it's strong and it's steady, and I have my foot back to where I want to get to. Okay, so I'm going to drive off and then take a step back, and I'm in position and I'm ready to go. Okay, so everything is tight. I'm not just letting this weight just sit on my back and compress my spine. I've got my core tight, I've got my traps squeezed together. Traps are these muscles that are just below my neck, connected to my shoulders. So it's kind of creating a rack that's on my back, so I'm not just sitting this right on my spine. Okay, so again, I keep my focal point in mind. Nice and deep. Okay, when I re-rack it, I do it just the same way I did when I pulled the weight off. Step in, find my points, drop it down, and I'm out. Okay, that's the rear squat. Now, if you have back issues, to alleviate that ability to compress your spine, where if you have a lot of weight on your back, you can compress your spine, especially when you get a little tired, you get fatigued, and that core starts to weaken, your spine will compress. Here's another way to do it, and it's very effective. It's tougher. It's a very tough squat, and it's not a comfortable squat, but it's a front squat. Now, there's a lot of different ways to hold the bar on this. I'm going to show you a couple. I like to personally get under the bar. It's going to be right up against my neck. Hold here. Elbows are high. And I'm right here. Again, if these elbows are not high, look what happens. That bar starts to roll. Key to this, keep those elbows up. I hold my hands here just to secure the bar. Down and up. Okay? Another way to hold the weight is with your hands. Now you have to have pretty flexible wrists to do this. Mine are not that flexible, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I get under. Again, I got my neck in the right position. You don't need your whole hand in this. Okay? So I just have a few fingers on it. It's in place. It's there. All it is holding. Okay? The weight is not really resting on my hands. It's more on my chest and on my shoulders. Okay? So here we go. Same thing. Nice depth and explode up. Okay? And those are several squat combinations, squat formations, and squat postures that you can do. So, hope you enjoy that. Good luck.